What's up, everybody? This is Casey Washack with the Rolling for Revenue podcast, your jiu-jitsu business podcast. Guys, if you're looking to level up your school, create greater impact in your area, and create a lifestyle using this beautiful art of jiu-jitsu, then this is your podcast. So, guys, today I want to talk to you about a very hot button issue inside the jiu-jitsu school owners world, and that's whether to have contracts or not to have contracts in your school. So I'm in a unique situation because my personal training studios that I've had for over 20 years, we have contracts in each and every one of those. In my jiu-jitsu school, we do not have contracts, and that's just because I came into the ownership after the school has already been in existence for 3-4 years. So I didn't want to rock the boat, but I get a unique perspective because I get to see both sides, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. So number one, let's stop using this term contract right away. So if you do have contracts, do not call them contracts. Contracts have a bad connotation. And really, the stigma, the horrible, the bad taste everybody has in their mouth about contracts is because of the fitness industry. It's all the big box gyms, the $20, $30, $40, $50 a month gyms that make you jump through hoops and send certified letters, and you got to meet with each department to sign off before you can cancel this $30 a month membership. And it just upsets people so much. So now they take that into your school. And so we don't want to use the word contract. It's an agreement. So at my personal training studios, we have month-to-month agreements and we have 12-month agreements. It's up to you. So number one, obviously having contract, we'll call them agreements. Having agreements allows you to have more predictable income. Okay. So if somebody's going to cancel in your gym, for us, we make it has to be in person. We started in person, we met in person, we signed up in person, and now if we're going to end this relationship, it has to be in person too. So I personally tell everybody, we start with a hug, we end with a hug. So, but what this allows me to do is have a personal conversation with each person who's thinking about leaving. And what a lot of people don't understand is that all of us are small business owners. We are corporate. And I tell each person as they're signing up, I say, look, you're talking to corporate right now. Okay. I'm the owner. You have direct access to me. So anything you need, I'm here to help you. All right. So I can't hide behind layers and layers of leadership like these big box gyms, and some $12 an hour employee is like, sorry, can't cancel, you got to do all these things. No, they have like a direct line of access to me. So, but they also don't realize in many cases, we have the ability to get very creative with how we navigate this agreement. Right. So in the personal training world and jiu-jitsu as well, people are always getting injured. People are getting super busy in their lives. And all of a sudden, what once was really important to them as far as getting in shape or learning jiu-jitsu now is starting to fall on the back burner. And the agreement obligates them to reach out to you and say, hey, look, I think I need to cancel. And I say, great, let's meet and let's figure this out. So that allows me to sit down and see if there's a creative solution where we both win. I keep a member, but they continue to do something positive for themselves in learning jiu-jitsu or getting in shape. And in both cases, it's probably one of the only healthy things they're doing for themselves. And so I'm going to try to save that as much as humanly possible. Okay. And so I can get very creative. Like if someone, not just recently, someone's going through a divorce and they're like, look, it's just so chaotic and I just can't. And so I think I need to cancel. And I'm like, look, this is going to pass at some point. So let me freeze your membership for like 2 months, but you're going through an extremely stressful time in your life. And I don't want you to worry about the financial aspect, but I still want you to get in here. Now, Obviously, that member was extremely appreciative of what I did. And yes, the business took a hit, right, financially for 2 months, but I would argue I strengthened the relationship, and now I have somebody who's wanting to cancel just because they couldn't focus, and it was just another stress on their life. I took that away, but I said, keep getting in here because you need to burn off this steam anyways, and do something good for yourself while you're going through this chaos. So I definitely think I deepen the relationship, and I think I'll probably have a client for a very long time. So that's one of the things that having agreements helps you with, is it forces them to have a conversation. And in the same respect, having agreements gives your client more of a commitment mindset because they're understanding, like, look, and this is something we mention in the sales process, is in jiu-jitsu, sometimes you're the hammer, other times you're the nail. And especially when you're first starting out and you're learning these things, there's going to be days where you get really frustrated, but I promise you they will pass. And so having that agreement gets you through some of those short-term emotional blow-ups where they're like, you know what, I'm just horrible at this, I want to cancel, right? So they have to think about it for a second. Like, all right, I signed this thing and I said I was going to be here for 12 months. And all right. So it does help your member get through some of the tough times, because they know that they can't just quit whenever things get tough. And guess what? And if they want to, they have to come have a conversation with you again. And that's where you can either create a creative strategy for it, or at least talk them through and say, look, it comes and goes. You'll be fine. Just drill for the next week. Like, there's so many things, once again, that you take for granted because it's all in your brain. And these newer members, even if they're not new, even if they've been doing it for 5 years, that's only a fraction of the time you've been doing it. So you have all of these solutions, but unfortunately, the student has almost none of them. They think it's super black and white, when in reality, there's so many gray areas and there's so many creative solutions that we can do temporarily to get them through some of these tough times, and to keep a member and to keep the business growing. This isn't typically on the mind of a lot of jiu-jitsu school owners, but your business is worth more when you have agreements in place. Because of course, there's ways out of these agreements. There's medical ways out of the agreements. There's, by law, if somebody moves 25 miles away, there's ways out of the agreements. There's ways out, right? Those sheets of commitments, those agreements are worth something when it comes to somebody buying the business. They know they're not buying a school that people can leave overnight. That's not usually why people do it, but it does make your business worth more, especially if you're going to sell it. So probably the biggest con when it comes to having memberships or agreements is the friction at the sign up. The reason I'm doing this podcast is because I was in a Facebook group and I'm watching these people who obviously don't own businesses just rip contracts to shreds. And if you go to a jiu-jitsu school with a contract, you better run. But and it it was making my blood boil. That's why I took a couple days before I did this. I did see some other, I don't know what you want to call them, jiu-jitsu influencers or whatever, just immediately come out. And I was like, oh, they must have saw that, because they were mad too. And it's, number one, I would say stay off those groups if you're an owner, because you're watching a very loud minority and you can't let them influence how you run a business. Especially if you have a family, you can't let a couple loud people on the internet dictate how you live your life and the business you're building for your life and for your family. So it's almost better to stay out of those groups, but these agreements do cause a friction point at the point of sale. So this is why having some sort of paid trial helps, because people get to try you out, and usually it's at a discounted rate or it's for a shorter duration of time, 21 days, 14 days, 21 days, a month, 6 weeks, whatever, right? They get to try you out before they fully commit. But if you don't have some sort of trial on the front end, then just going into like, cool, you've never done this before, but we have these 12-month contracts that you need to sign. People are like, ugh. So it creates a friction point. Now, obviously, if you have trials and things, people after those 14, 21 month, 6 weeks, whatever it is, they can say like, wow, I really love this place. Yeah, I can see myself here. But also, I would say having contracts, it's a pro and a con, because I truly believe we should be leveling up and evolving every day. But you have to be good at sales. You have to be able to explain to somebody why training at your gym is going to give them the result they're after. And what that's going to take is for them to sign this 12-month agreement, 6-month, whatever it is. Okay. One of the issues I do see, and this will be another podcast episode when it comes to memberships, is 3 months, 6-month, 12-month. It's too many options for the same thing. Okay. And usually the price points are all over the place and it doesn't make much sense, but it's too many buying decisions. All right. So 3-month or a year, right? Or 6-month or a year. Or what I do is month to month or a year. You're either in, they're going to pay a higher price point month to month than they would a year. So I'm also valuing the loyalty I'm going to have. So anyhow, you have to be good at sales to get across to somebody that they're not buying moves, they're buying an education. All right. And I think where a lot of people go wrong with selling jiu-jitsu or training is you're not getting workouts, right? You're not getting jiu-jitsu moves. What you're getting is an education, right? If I do my job right, you may never need me at some point in the future. If I teach you how to eat right, I teach you how to work out properly, I teach you how to warm up, cool down, you over time are going to change. And then guess what? At some point, you don't necessarily need me, but if I've shown you enough value, you'll want to stay because you know that I haven't given you all the tricks in my bag yet. So this is the same with jiu-jitsu. You're not learning moves. You're getting an education on how to navigate jiu-jitsu and how to implement jiu-jitsu in your life, and also all the benefits of doing something hard, the unintended benefits you didn't even know were a part of it. Makes you a better husband, a better father, a better mother, a better wife, a better employee, a better employer in doing challenging things for yourself. So that's an unintended benefit of jiu-jitsu or working out that people don't even recognize. And guess what? You're going to get all that for the nice monthly fee of X. And so this is where you need to be a good salesperson. Now, if you're not, this is where having no contracts makes it life super simple. I look at contracts and no contracts as it's the same business, and it should be treated the same whether they sign a piece of paper long term or not. But a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people think basically someone signs up at your gym for 12 months that there's no way out. Well, yes, they have plenty of ways out. They have plenty of ways out. And I mean, if you truly want to get out and I can't save it, like, cool, there's a fee you pay and you're out. That's fine. Right? So It's the same business. So people are like, having no contracts, you got to earn their business every month. You do have to do that if you have contracts as well, because they can stop their credit card and just stop showing up, and you're screwed unless you want to take them to collections. And if you live in a small town, that's gonna kill you. So we can get into the moral and ethics on that drives me nuts, because they don't do that with their car payment, they don't do it with their house payment. But the little guy who they know personally, and they've met my kids and met my wife, and they're gonna basically either cancel their credit card or do a chargeback or something like that. They're so willing to do that to me, but they won't ever call their mortgage and say, "Hey, look, I'm going away for 3 weeks. Can you not charge me for my house?" Like they will for you. They're not using their house. They're not using you, but they'll call you and say, "Hey, can you not charge me?" Right? So with no contracts, there's really no friction when it comes to joining the gym, because they don't have to worry about being locked into something for a very long time. Okay. That's something that I know a lot of people are worried about. What if I don't like this thing and whatever, and maybe you don't have some sort of trial offer that they tried? They can just jump right into a membership, and it's month to month. But one of the cons is any little thing that disrupts their current schedule. Like if I'm able to get in there, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I'm at the adult class, I'm kicking butt, but oh no, work schedule changed, and now I'm only able to get in twice a week. It's not even worth it. I'm going to cancel, and I'll wait until my schedule comes back around. Maybe they're a shift worker or something, comes back around in 3 months. Now, you'll get a lot of those unless you make it to where they have to re-sign an enrollment as well. So all of our members, since we don't have contracts, there's an enrollment fee as well as their membership. And if they decide to cancel, because we can freeze them, we freeze up to 60 days. If they need something to go on, no problem. We'll freeze you up to 60 days. But if they're like, you know what, just cancel me, like, cool. But just know, if you want to come back, you're going to repay the enrollment. In many cases, they'll be like, oh, really? I didn't even know that. Just freeze me then. So the issue with no contracts is that many times when things get hectic, since it's an easy cut, that'll be definitely one of the first things they cut, because there's no friction. There's no friction for them, meaning it's just easy. We need to cut back on expenses. Let's just cut our jiu-jitsu. Boom. So unless you have something to where like, cool, you can do that, no problem, and we'll love to have you back when you come back, but just know that the $99 enrollment's coming back. Like, you got to pay that again. And then be, oh, wait, really? Okay, well, then I won't cancel. I'm just going through a hard time right now. I'll be in next week. Look, one of the things we don't realize, and this is something I verbalize inside my sales process in all facets, is that the money is an accountability tool. The fact that you're paying me for this means you're going to show up for it. Okay. So while I set things in place to call people when they haven't shown up in so many days, we're constantly trying to figure out ways to recognize them. And basically, I think about each member as a balloon that we got to keep up in the air, and they starting to fall, and we got to bounce them back up. Right. Well, the money is an accountability tool as well. If you're spending money on this thing, hopefully you're going to use it. And so it's up to us to not let it get to a point where they're like, you know what, I haven't been there in months, I just need to cut that thing. We should have been reaching out to them along the way, telling them, look, you got to get in here. It's been a week. Where you been? Let's get to train. Come in twice this week. So guys, there's a lot of pros to having contracts, but you have to be a good salesperson in order to verbalize them and why you have them, right? Please don't decide to run your business a certain way because your competitors do it another way, right? You're not hurting anybody but yourself. I hear this stuff all the time, like, hey, we're not doing contracts. I hear because those guys down the street are doing contracts. I'm not doing an enrollment fee because I hear the guys down the street are doing one. Well, those guys are getting money and you're not. And nobody is doing that much price shopping. I'm going to be cheaper just because those guys down the street are $20 more a month. Like, set up your business the way you want it, regardless how other people are doing it. This is your world that you're creating, and you just have to be able to justify each and every decision you make inside that business. All right. So whether you have agreements or contracts or you don't, you have to justify why. Once again, the positives of contracts are there is friction for the member to want to leave. It requires them to have a conversation. It also gets them to think long term, like, I'm in this. This is a part of my life now. I'm committed to this. Where not having a contract, they can be a little more willy-nilly. Well, if I don't like it, I'll just cancel next month. And then, or you know what? I'm going to be busy, so I'm just going to cancel for the summer and then come back. So there's pros and cons of both. And now it's up to you to decide which you're going to choose. So I'd love to hear what you're doing and how you're doing it, what you've decided, if you haven't started yet, what you would do inside your school. So like, comment, share. If you haven't got the Rolling for Revenue book, please do go to rollingforrevenue.com. Just pay for shipping and I'll send it to you. And until next time, guys, take care and I'll see you on the mats.